Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it's time for the July release, day 1. Hey, so I'm using the new hot air balloons from Jaded Blossom, the Valentine gnome face dies, the gnome dies, girl gnome face dies, happy graduation stamp set, and outline dies, the gnome dies school add-ons, rainbow dies, and the girl gnome dies. I am using the graduation pad from Echo Park in 6-inch. I'm using the holographic mirror paper from scrapbook.com. I'm using, this is called Dog Days paper from Echo Park. It's just a cloud paper. So I have an A2 sized card base made out of paper tray ink white cardstock, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches. And I'm adding on this cloud paper that's 1/8 of an inch smaller to the front with some ATG tape. This is very simple, right? There we go. And on the inside, I'm going to add a strip of paper. This is actually, I don't really know what this paper is. It's like, I don't know. It's like an all over graduation print. It came in 12 by 12. I really don't know what the company is as that strip is cut off. So, you know, whatever you want to use on the bottom of the inside of your card, go for it. Now, I am going to stamp a face on this little face. Now, I am using the Valentine Gnome Faces, and I'll be using VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and all the skin tones today on my little gnome were cut from P13 Stamping Pad skin tones that you can get over in the Jaded Blossom store. So first of all, I'm going to add some EK Success chalk to the cheeks, and then I will stamp my little face. And there we go. So easy stuff, right? And I'm going to put together my little graduate. So I cut out the base layer out of American Crafts black cardstock, and then I'm actually using the same American Crafts cardstock for her little robe. I'm going to cut off her little feet because she's going to be in the hot air balloon, so you won't see them. Okay, so next I'm going to layer up the rest of this design. I've got to add on the little V-neck. That I'm going to use just skin tones. And then I'm going to add on this little face with the ears. That's the first piece. And then I will add on the one, whoops, there we go. I'm going to do a little bit of gnome surgery by cutting off her hat because we're going to give her a grad cap. Next, I'm going to add on the face that I stamped. There we go. Too cute, right? And then I will add on my grad cap. This is cut, and of course I'm adding glue where I don't even need it, but you know. There we are. So adding the grad cap. This little shiny piece, that is from Simon Says Stamp. It's called Black Glossy Cardstock. And I'm just going to add that to the base of that hat, just so you get some differentiation there. And then I will add on some American Crafts yellow cardstock because this one's going to be a blonde. There. I'm making this for my goddaughter, Hannah. It is her graduation, and she happens to be a blonde. She's graduating from mechanical engineering, so she's a smart cookie. So I am adding on some braids to the back of her little hair there. Just because how cute is that, right? That same, basically that same paper. Oops, I'm just trying to get it in place. Then I'm going to add on little bows. The bows were cut from that same holographic cardstock from scrapbook.com. Just using my embellishment wand to put them in place. Barely art glue. And there is my little graduate. Excuse me, my voice was cutting out there. I'm going to pop up her tiny nose. I do cut one of the mini Stampin' Up! Dimensionals in half to do that. And I'm just going to give her little nose. And there we go. Now I have a little diploma, cut out of American Crafts black cardstock, and then again out of paper tray ink white cardstock. And you'll see the little bow that I'm going to add on is that holographic mirror paper from scrapbook.com again in gold. But I'm just going to assemble this little diploma. You'll see there's already some little dimensionals on the back of these little hands. I must have ripped them off something before, trying to decide where the thumbs go. That's how I do it. I'm a visual learner. So I'm going to get this little bow in place once I get some glue on the back of that. There. We're going to have her floating in her graduation balloon is the plan. Okay, so now I'm going to assemble my little hot air balloon. Remember, there's an assembly video for this, but it's very straightforward. You can check it out. So this paper is from that Echo Park 6-inch graduation pad. I'm just alternating the patterns. You'll see that I cut out the main base of that balloon from, what did I cut it out of? I think I used Smoky Shadow paper tray ink cardstock. So I'm not going to bother, cutting the strings out or the little, the cables that hold the little basket. I'm just going to leave those in place and save myself some gluing, right? So I'm just sort of alternating the patterns. And I just think this looks super cute and it's fun. Remember, you can use these hot air balloons for anything, right? You can choose your papers and design anything to go for any occasion with these. There. And you could use, like I said before, the normal sized gnomes, or you could use the new minis in there, whatever you want. So now I am going to stick down the base of this basket. There we are. And then I will weight it down with an acrylic block. So now I'm going to put together the little pennants. And, it's very simple. I just used paper from that pad to make this. There. I don't know if I've said this, but I like to collect cloud paper for backgrounds in 12 by 12. So I have a bunch of different ones that I use because any of them would work, right? Okay, so now I am going to glue down my little pennants on my balloon just for fun, right? I have it kind of at an angle. And isn't that fun? Now I'm using these are from Doodlebug Sprinkles. They're called Grad Assortment. I'm going to add little black stars to each of these pennants before I get my gnome in place, right? I don't know, I find these embellishments, like when you have some shine and a little bit of dimension, it really adds to your die cutting. Now this was an easy card. Really, it was just a lot of die cutting, right? Once the die cutting's done, putting the card together was super simple. So now I'm going to slip in my little grad in her balloon. And then I'm going to pop her up with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. These are black ones, but it doesn't matter. They don't show. And I know I go a little overboard, but I want to make sure that it doesn't get all squashed. Although I'll be handing this one to her in person because we're going to a little grad party for her. So there, so I don't have to worry about it getting wrecked in the mail at least, right? Isn't that cute? Okay, so next we're going to add on her little diploma. And I just think you just can't get more cute than that, right? And I am just grabbing another dimensional here. I'm just going to slip that behind the diploma just to make sure nothing dips. And isn't she sweet? Okay, I'm just pulling out a Secure White Jelly Roll pen and a number 10. I'm just going to add a highlight here. And trying to decide if I need any more. I'm just going to connect those. Just use it as a big highlight. There we go. Oops. I'll do a couple dots over there just for fun. And there she is in all her glory. So now I have another piece. This is from the label shaped dies from Jaded Blossom. And I just cut out another piece of that paper to go on the inside. I don't need a lot of room to write. I'm just decorating the inside of the card. And then I'm framing up my sentiment that I cut out of paper tray ink white cardstock. I stamped in VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. So congratulations on your graduation. Now I'm adding a few paper tray ink white clouds that were cut from the rainbow dies from Jaded Blossom. And I'll add them in a visual triangle. I know there's clouds on the paper, but these clouds just, they add something, right? To have like some actual dimension there behind our little graduate. So I am gluing them, you know, visual triangle. And then I do weight it down and I will trim off the back with a pair of scissors. You know, anything that hangs over. Whoops. It's kind of out of the frame there, but you know, you get the gist, right? And then I'm going to stick down my little girl. What I tried to do was organize where those three clouds were going to go by placing my little girl, you know, on my card so I could sort of see where they show the best. And that's how I kind of made sure that they showed, right? So we're going to get her at a jaunty angle. And then I'm going to add Class of 2025 to the front. That is also a sentiment from that stamp set, Happy Graduation stamp set and outline dies. Stamped the same way, you know, in VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. Cut out with my Anna Griffin Empress like I always do. Okay, so I'm going to add that to the top of the balloon here. So it'll say Class of 2025. Now, the balloon itself is at an angle, but the sentiment is straight. Okay, so that is, I just think she's so cute. So now I'm taking some of those sprinkles again. These are gold though, and I'm just going to stagger some around just for fun. Remember, visual triangles, odd numbers are your friend. And I think that's enough glitz and glamour, right? And isn't she sweet? So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on these amazing products. And thanks as always for watching my videos. Bye, everybody.